I get 10 voicemails a day.
Oh, yeah. And you can't get off of it.
You can't. Even when you block them, they got a new number.
It doesn't. No, they call from a different number.
Yeah. Because you could buy a number for what? Like super cheap.
Yeah. They banned AI because a lot of people, like a common misconception is that people think like, it's cold calling dead, And that's a huge misconception because it's actually stronger than ever now.
Wow.
Because of AI. AI actually kind of like solidified a place in the world for cold calling because they banned AI. It means now they're reducing the amount of junk and noise that's coming through to your phone. Because if they were to open it up, well, then could you imagine the amount of garbage?
Oh my God.
Just enough garbage you get now, right? Could you imagine the sheer amount of garbage you get then?
Yeah.
Right. So like because they took those measures and have blocked that garbage and that noise from coming through, now it leaves room for like legitimate companies to actually still cold call homeowners and businesses or whatever, and actually present them with legitimate offers. So if you're in that type of business, good for you. You can actually still operate because there is still room in the world for legitimate, honest cold calling.
Have you been in the call center industry for a while?
Not selling them the way that I do now. So I got into the call center space kind of by accident. I sort of fell into it because I was running a large sales organization in the world of solar. RIP solar.
Yeah, that was a bubble, huh?
So if I said the word solar, there's a really strong chance about a third of you people in this audience right now would be like, solar's a scam, right? It's like a third of the audience would yell back. Now, if I did the same thing and I just said air conditioning, ain't no one going to be like, air conditioning's a scam.
No one, yeah.
No one, not a single person, right? There's your problem. Right, there's your problem with your industry right there. Like
the bias.
You guys screwed it for yourselves. Now you get to lay in it,
Because they overpromised, like.
Oh, they did all kinds of. There was all kinds of scammy shit going on.
Yeah.
So I could talk about it for all day, but there was all kinds of scammy shit going on. So, I still do work with a lot of solar companies, just not as many anymore. So now I work. I love home services. That's just kind of an industry that I sort of fell into by.
Roofing's a good one.
Roofing is great. I like HVAC. HVAC is my favorite. Maybe because I'm partial to it because I used to own an HVAC company for a long time. Also a crazy story. But so, now these companies just kind of find me, because I talk to a lot of them on a daily basis. And they all want to be in more homes and they all want to talk to more homeowners and they all want more business. And they all don't think about call centers.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a new thing for them.
Yeah, it's not like the sexy lead gen method, right? They want to be running ads and doing like videos.
Yeah, everyone still thinks about digital media, as their primary source of marketing, which is great. I'm not anti-digital marketing. I'm all for it too. But like, I think that's, like now we're seeing a big resurgence in traditional media coming back, TV, radio, mailers, all that kind of stuff, because that's what happens when you ignore something for a long time. Yeah. It starts working again because it's no longer saturated with a bunch of scammy offers. Mm-hmm. So now it becomes once again revived with energy and is now a viable resource.
Yeah.
So that's why mailers are now working again because people are like actually opening like, oh, I haven't received a mailer in a long time. Let me actually open this one.
I do open a lot of mailers actually.
Isn't that interesting? But like 20 years ago, you probably didn't.
No.
20 years ago, you would, it was piled up because that's what everyone did.
Yeah. Yeah. They're getting good at making them appealing too.
Yeah. But now the equivalent is Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Right now, that's the equivalent of a mailer. So it's like, isn't that interesting how the tables have turned?
Yeah.
Right. Like now it's Facebook ads because those are super saturated and with a shit ton of scammy offers. Mm. So now people aren't paying attention to that. So now they're back to the old school stuff.
Call centers have been true and tested, I feel like.
For sure.
For a long time, right?
For sure. Yeah, they'll never even, like Ryan Panetta, love you by the way. Even like Ryan Panetta is like anti-call centers, and I'd love to, I'll chat with you one day. But he's, he thinks it's a dying art, he thinks it's a dying channel, and I, totally disagree. But there's a huge opportunity, I think, for companies, or it's actually, we work with like like a lot of fundraisers and charities and stuff like that. And that's a huge new area that we're about to crack into is kind of the whole charity side of thing and fundraising side of thing. Because it's the same thing, right? It's just
they need more donors, right?
Just cold outreach.
Yeah.
And again, they're not used to it. So what's old is now new again. So now there's a huge opportunity in that space.
That's smart. So, and they got massive lead lists too, I bet.
Yeah, and they're really good at that kind of stuff too. Yeah. They already have.
Oh, yeah.
They already have that stuff.
Dude, I donated once to like Save the Children, not to put them on blast, but I get a mailer, I get texts, I get emails.
Once business owners reach a certain level of wealth, they stop caring about producing more wealth because you reach a point where it's like, well, I have enough money now. I don't need to keep accruing more.
Right.
Now you get to the point where it's like, well, how do I just keep it? How do I just not put it at risk? Right. And I think that's where they also kind of realized, like, the best return on investment I ever got was myself. Now, if I'm going to try to, and this is where my comment on Hormozy comes in, because he also kind of parrots that same model where he's like, stop trying to look at other avenues to be your primary source of income, because your primary source of income nothing will ever outproduce yourself. Instead, just keep your money safe and do exactly that. Keep it safe.
Great advice.
Keep it safe.
Because we try to treat our money.
Stop risking it. Stop trying to go for home runs. You know, you made $1. Now you're going to go take that $1 and hand it over here and get another home run. And then while that's not working for you, you're going to put it over here and try to get another home run.
Yep.
And then you get screwed with one of those avenues. Instead of doing that, just focus on yourself as your primary source of income. And then everything else is just wealth preservation. And that's it. So simplify.
Great
and
advice.
now you've opened up mental real estate to once again reinvest back into the bank of yourself.
Yep. I've lost my money twice for the exact reason you're saying, because I tried to apply my mindset to investing that I had in business.
Yeah.
I went all in. That's my mindset. When I go on a business, I'm all in.
Of course.
You know?
As you should be.
Yeah, because I'll put the risk all on myself because I'm betting on myself. But when it comes to investments, you can't really do that. You know?
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I lost my money twice.
So what was it? I'm curious to know. What was it? Where? How did it happen?
First time with sports cards. It was a boom in the market like probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I don't know if you saw that. Just overinvested, over leveraged, and I was buying the wrong cards and then lost it all. The market crashed.
Okay.
And then built up my net worth back to 10 million with crypto. Lost all of it.
In crypto?
Yeah. Crypto crashed. I was investing in meme coins and risky coins. So the volatility on these coins, because they're all coins, you could go down 80, 90% in a day. Sometimes hours.
Fuck,
it's not like stocks.
A panic attack.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I would never put my money. Like, could you imagine? Like, you know, I'm assuming most people who are watching this are business owners.
Yeah.
For the most part, like, anyone's watching this, could you imagine, like, if your business crashed 90% in a day?
That's crypto.
I'd have to change my shorts right now if that happened.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
It was nuts.
But again, this proves the point. Like, once again, this proves the point that is almost can't happen. Right. If it's your own business, that almost can't happen because you have safeguards in place,
right?
And you know your business better than anything else. Like, so you know that just can't happen. So isn't that creepy and crazy that, like, here you were deploying all this money into a particular channel that can just plummet like that? Now, it can go the other direction too.
And it did at first.
But isn't that just the definition of fucking gambling now?
Crypto is gambling.
Didn't we just define what gambling is?
Yeah,
basically?
outside of the top 10 coins, crypto, I would say, is gambling if you're buying anything outside the top 10.
Okay.
Even some in the top 10.
But you're heavy into Bitcoin right now, aren't you?
Ethereum, but
Ethereum. Okay.
I had a lot of Bitcoin too.
Why? I don't know shit about crypto, so like, why? Because I've just stayed away from it.
Bitcoin's a finite amount. There's 21 million coins, never will be made again, and a lot of hedge funds and like VCs are getting into it. So it got up to 120,000 a coin this year.
Okay.
It's at like 89 as we film this, but
so why Ethereum? Why was that your avenue as opposed to
more risk but more reward, I guess, because it's not the same price.
So you're gambling
like it's
again.
The market cap. Yeah, it's basically gambling.
So you're a gambler.
Yeah.
You like
well, when I was younger, yeah. Now I haven't bought anything new for years. I've just been sitting on what I have. Yeah. Because after you lose that amount of money, you're not going to be taking the same risks anymore.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go through a traumatic event, a PTSD type event like that.
So as I get older, I don't chase those crazy gains anymore. I'm cool with like 10, 20% a year on stuff I invest in.
Well, there you go.
You know?
Yeah.
Which isn't like sexy, but...
Well, but then you can just go right back into real estate.
Yeah.
Right? And now you can be super, super safe.
Yeah.
And you get all the tax benefits that come with it too. And all the multitude of other benefits too.
Yeah. Especially now that I'm married and I want to have kids. If I were to lose everything, it's not just me anymore. I can't just do that again.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, you're supposed to take risks when you're young.
Yeah, now I'm glad it happened. I needed it.
Sure.
I needed a wake-up call.
Isn't that interesting? You needed it.
I thought I was going to be a billionaire off crypto. I needed that humbling experience. You know what I mean?
Isn't that interesting?
I thought I was going to be a centimillionaire off selling masks during the pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, every failure, and I had a failure that was borderline. I had my, catastrophic failure not that long ago. For me, it was about two and a half years ago. And it was just one terrible business decision that I made, which I didn't see coming. Now, of course, to me, it's like
hindsight.
Yeah, to me, it's like a semi coming at me head on now with its brights on. How I didn't see it, but well, there you go. But yeah, I mean, I had that realization, and I'm super thankful. I came back. I came back 10 times more successful from that one event than I ever would have, I think, had I not had that
Exactly.
event. That event put me through such, not only was it traumatizing, and so obviously there's, you know, huge lessons that came out as a result of that traumatization, but it forced me to buckle down and put aside all my pain and discomfort and buckle down and just say, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever the fuck it takes right now to fix this mess that I just got myself into. And I just buckled down like I've never have before in my life. It's like, you know, it's like the stories that you hear from people who have just been quote unquote fuck ups their whole lives, younger people, and they go to the military, and that's where, you know, or they go to prison before they find Jesus. You know, the classic story. I found Jesus when I went to prison. Big surprise, right?
Classic.
That was my finding of my proverbial Jesus.
Yeah. I think we all go through something like that, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never met an entrepreneur that didn't have some similar story to that.
Really?
I think it's like a rite of passage, honestly.
I think it has to be.
Like you got to have that one fail. I actually met, I didn't meet him, but someone told me he met a billionaire once, and he said he doesn't work with people that haven't had a failure before.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of
He
sense.
doesn't become business partners with someone that hasn't had a company like fail.
And that's one of the things, right? Like that's part of running a company is like you have to go through recessions. You have to go through tough economic times. You know, when I started my first business, I started it in November of 2001. So 2 months after 9/11.
Wow.
That's when I started my first business.
During a recession.
Yeah, one of the worst in the entire, you know, history. And so I learned very quickly, you know, like I didn't know anything else. You know, that was my first foray into business was, well, welcome to this shitstorm, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I'm so thankful because it's like I didn't know any better. I didn't know good times. I only knew these incredibly challenging times, and that's what I got thrown into. But I wish the same on every aspiring business owner. I wish that they would only start in a difficult down market because there's nothing worse than thinking you're just the smartest kid on the block. Right? There's nothing worse than thinking you're hot shit because then you will eat a face full of humble pie real fast.
Well, now's the time. Looks like we're about to be in another recession. I know they've been saying that for years, but it actually seems like we're there now.
It does. And actually the Bitcoin crash looks like it's actually a bit of a precursor. It's a bit of a canary in a coal mine.
It actually, yeah, if you follow Bitcoin crashes with recessions, there's a similarity there.
Yeah, and so that's
and real estate too.
A lot of economists are saying that it is the canary in the coal mine. It is the precursor to a big recession about to come. And then in fact that the only thing that's actually been holding, that's propping up our economy this whole time has been AI.
AI. If it wasn't for AI, we would have already been in one.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.